Good afternoon and welcome everyone to this webinar. Thank you for investing your time off from a busy day and being here with us today. I can assure you that this will be a productive session for all of us. I'm Samreen and I'll be your host for the session. The remote lifestyle that we are living in today is not an easy feat for everyone, especially when we have to continuously collaborate and work with people all across the globe. While most of us focus on the communication part of this whole remote equation, we fail to address the collaboration aspect properly. I believe I'm not the only one who's bothered and frustrated when I have to switch between the communication and collaboration aspect or tools constantly because they go hand in hand, right? So, exactly this is what our speaker here today is going to be talking about. Joining all the way from Finland, we have with us Vesa, who is an MVP for Microsoft Enterprise Applications, focusing on teams and collaboration. He's passionate about creating a better workplace with Office 365, and he's an expert in user adoption, road mapping, architecting, and innovating. There wouldn't be, I think, a second thought if we call him a remote working genie. So, if you have any queries regarding remote working or remote collaboration, then he's your man. So, drop your questions in the chat box, and we'll be answering them during our Q&A session, or Vesa will be answering those questions during the session itself. It is really exciting for me to tell you all that this is his last speaking engagement for 2020. So thank you so much, Vesa, for joining with us, giving your time, and a very warm welcome from all of us here at Nepal. Over to you, Vesa.
Thank you, Samreen. That was a very high-praised words, interesting introduction, and hey, welcome everyone, whoever is on the line, and hopefully more people will be joining us in as well. It's really exciting to be speaking here in Nepal in a way, even it's virtual version of this event. And I'm speaking from Finland, as introduced, more specifically from the city of Turku, and which is on the west-south coast of Finland. We don't have mountains; we have small mountains, but that's of course the great thing that Santa Claus is living in Finland. So, yeah, that's the usual way. But for more on the topic, perhaps before going to any of the Nepalese food or anything like that, which I enjoy, is the Microsoft Teams. And as introduced earlier, Microsoft Teams is a big platform. It has lots of capabilities around it. And if you only concentrate Microsoft Teams as a collaboration and communication platform, so you are using it like used Skype before, for example, or using it for editing files, doing the basic stuff, having meetings, you're still missing a lot. There's lots of licenses in there embedded, and there are lots of capabilities that you aren't even touching if you are going to that route. And of course, the latest additions in the Power Platform, they are really leveraging and adding things to Teams, how you can use it very easily to kind of boost your business and boost your way of working. And of course, yeah, for remote working, that's really working from anywhere. That's a really big theme. And how do you make people kind of make it easier for the people to kind of jump in and do their work together? I have been working remotely, I don't know, over 15 years, 20 years now and then. And for past 10 years, I mostly worked from home or from anywhere. So it has been a very interesting ride for me. So you are feel free to ask questions. I will try to monitor chat on my right screen, and so if you see me looking around like this, then you know that I'm just looking on the other screens as well. But or you can raise a hand and ask questions as well if you like, and I try to answer some of the questions at the end, of course. So this will be interesting, almost 90 minutes, and I hope you enjoy the ride. This time I don't have to rush it through. I hope we'll be seeing that when we have 15 minutes left. How is it going? All right, let's get my focus there. I work at Sulava. Of course, I want to introduce my employer because that's a great company born in the cloud 10 years ago, and we are focusing on Microsoft 365. So, and there's lots of big kind of aspects in here, because there's a cloud infrastructure and security, and there's the business productivity, especially the Power Platform part, but also it's about modern workplace. And for me, it's more about modern work life. How do you have that equation? How do you work together? How do you achieve more when you are working together and you don't have the limits of places? And while we are a small company in a global sense, there's 130 of us, and we have only 5 Microsoft MVPs, which is the biggest number of MVPs in any company in Finland. In the same company that we are expanding, and we have expanded in the beginning of this infamous year 2020 for Dubai, and we have just been expanding to Germany and Switzerland as well. So it's fun to work globally, and I think the webinars like these are one of the example of this, that we can work anywhere. And as said, thank you for the introduction earlier. My name is Vesa Nopanen, and please do call me Vesku. That's a common nickname for Vesa in Finland. So in case you just see me using the Vesku, don't be alarmed. It's the same person. And I'm Microsoft MVP, actually for Office Apps and Services. They didn't give me the Power Platform part yet, but let's see how's it going. I've been doing a lot of Power Platform this year as well. And feel free to contact me, join my LinkedIn network, and follow me on Twitter. But of course, please do read my blog, myteamsday.com, and follow it, because I'm posting a lot of interesting articles there. The most recent big one was the breakout rooms. I kind of wrote a how-to guide for that. So if you want to use the breakout rooms, then go ahead and check out the article. It's a kind of very hand-in-hand guide for that. They are simple to use, but sometimes guides are useful. So today, a few things, of course. Why Teams as a platform is a big thing. That was already in the intro. Why does it matter to businesses? Why it is so important to talk about extending Teams? And then after that, after some slideshow, I have the actual demos for you to show and enjoy. There's an onboarding demo in there, which is a kind of, I'm using the Power Virtual Agent for that, and there are a bunch of other stuff in there, so you will get a comprehensive look about those. And then we wrap up. So the success of Microsoft Teams has been booming this year. Of course, we know part of the reason why this is happening, but if you think about that, there was about a year ago, there were 20 million daily active users for Teams, and now there's over 150 million daily active users. And that's a lot. That's kind of a huge expansion of how do you work together from anywhere. And of course, the remote working is one of the key factors we need to meet. We want to do presentations, we work together. There are companies also who are working around the globe, so you are doing a lot of asynchronous work because you are collaborating, editing documents in different time zones. But of course, that's only part of the success why Teams is as big as it is. Other part is the innovations, like how do you work together? How do you do this stuff? How do you do the better meetings, for example? One of the examples I like to use with innovations is the together mode. When you put that on, you are seeing each other in the auditorium or in the field somewhere or in a cafe. You can see everyone participating in a kind of in more comfortable environment. Let's say that. Yes, you have the large gallery, you can see all the pictures, but when you put people sitting into benches somewhere, that's really awesome, because then you can point at the people, you can interact with them visually. And using a raise hand there, that's great visual cue. You don't even have to use the embedded feature for that. But one of the big things that's still not been evolved enough is the extensibility, but that has already been part of the Teams. Already, it was part of the Teams since the beginning, because you were able to add Poly, for example. You were able to add Trello or some other applications, and people like that. Okay, they can add the application to the Teams. They can access everything they do directly from within Teams. And that was just the first steps in there, because in reality, Teams is becoming more and more the front door to all the services. You come to work, and you, instead of opening a browser or your email, you might be opening Teams as a first application. And that's when you see it. You are starting to see, okay, these are my tasks. This is what's happening with my teams or with my colleagues. Or what should I be doing today? What kind of information is available to me? And as a kind of management, I might go there and see the reports, KPIs. I may have some approval processes pending. So I get access to those services directly from Teams, and I can go ahead and start working on them. And then as an office employee, I'm an information worker. I work with documents. I work in different teams, perhaps in innovations, designing something, working with tasks. I'm collaborating a lot. I'm meeting a lot. I'm part of the several processes there. So we are working together there and getting that job done. And that's a kind of one of the big, really big things there from employee point of view. And if I'm working on the field, that's a big mass of people that they don't have a desktop Teams. They don't have the laptop. They usually have just a mobile phone. How do they collaborate together? How do they meet? How do they participate with the company? They have different tasks. They have different checklists. They have that access to the different systems through Teams extensions, for example. So for them, the view is again different. They have different teams, but they also have to have access to the company news and information, for example. So there are, in this example, there's just three roles or three views, but they have a different view and they have access to the processes they need and for the data they need and the services and applications they need. And that's why Teams is the kind of hub for work in there. And building on that, why it is such a big thing? Because well, we can add applications here and there, or we just use different tools. We have the web applications in web browsers. We are logging in to different systems, or we even have in some cases desktop applications for that. But that's always when you do that, you are having a context switch. You are switching from one application to totally different application. You may have to log in. Or if you are thinking about using your mobile phone, can you even access those systems if you are on a public network? What about, do you have to have a VPN there? So you can't access all those services and applications you could need or you could use, even when the device is secure. Of course, it's you need Intune and everything like that to kind of make the device secure, but you can do that with Teams. When you are bringing those applications or view or kind of portion of those applications directly into Teams, you can access the data, you can access the essential services directly from Teams, and it will kind of earn back time for you because you are not switching around, and you don't have to think about, okay, what's my user ID and password there. Is that kind of a way? Is it secure to be used from somewhere? And the other aspect about this platform is, of course, the Power Platform part, Dataverse for Teams. When you can start building a low-code or no-code applications really easily to match the needs, or especially the changing needs you have in businesses. We all know about changing needs this year. Things changed a lot and in a fast pace. Your companies had to adjust to them, or they found out, okay, that we are laying off people or doing something like that, unpleasant things. So we don't want to do that. Instead, we want to focus on how do we match that need, how or what kind of things we have to do so we can help the people better there, how our employees, how to serve our customers better. And when you're doing that with the Power Platform, you are making it in a really short kind of not notice, but you don't have that kind of long development timeline. You can make it quick. You can test things really quick, and if something doesn't work, you can fail fast and try another proof of concept, because it doesn't take those months or to create applications and then deploy. If you do that part or that part, you are already committing a lot of resources for that. So it's really painful to kind of fail that solution. It looks bad on all front, But instead, if you are doing that on days or weeks, it's a much easier way to, okay, this doesn't work, we scrap it, we do something else. And that kind of that reduces the total cost of to develop applications, because when you succeed, that's when you start expanding the pilot. You are seeing, okay, this works. We are rolling this out, and we are getting ready, return of invest very quickly. There are a few slides here about with references to Forrester studies about these figures, so they are not just out of thin air or off my hat, but and of course those scenarios don't apply to everyone exactly, but it gives pointers. It gives an idea why this is really important and why it should be considered. And while it's easy to develop those applications, but when you are adding applications to teams, it also means that they feel like, hey, it's just another new feature in Teams. It's embedded. It's kind of integrated in Teams, so it feels familiar already. So it's extending the Teams in a way that, okay, I can act on a message, for example. I'm doing there, creating an opportunity. That's one of my demos. Okay, we have this discussion in Teams, and we realize, okay, this is something we could sell to that customer. And we create an opportunity out of that message directly from within Teams interface. And we can then put it to the process from there. And it feels very natural. Okay, I have the other ways. I can save the message. I can add it to tasks. I can do something else about it. So that's why when you have the option to extend that message and make it take it further, that's really, really natural. And that's really easy to teach to people. And that's one of the things that why makes it this really important, because they don't have to go to the CRM or to remember some form somewhere where they enter the details. Instead, they just see that, okay, I have this option available. I can use it directly from Teams. And when you're getting the notifications about something, approvals, how the process is going forward, something you have to do, and you're getting the notifications directly to Teams, it also reduces delays. They are not in your email, or they are not in some portal where you have to log in and check out for the notifications in there. So when they are in Teams, people see the notifications, they can act on that. And one of my favorite subjects is Power Virtual Agents. I really love these bots because they can make such a big difference. No, they are not supported in Finnish language, but if you are working in more like English language space, they can really make a difference. There's other supported languages as well, a big list of them, but Finnish is not one of them yet. But the thing is that when you can use this, you can use the bots really easily to kind of reduce the load. Especially this year, I'm sure that every HR and IT department have gotten a lot of questions. People are working from home. What are the practices? How these things work? How do I get this and that? Or how do I get a new computer or something like that? And there's a lots of kind of processes you don't have to use call the real people every time. But instead, if you are having a bot to answer these repetitive questions, then the real people at HR and IT can focus on more difficult topics, or they can focus on bringing more kind of information available to people, so they can get up to speed much faster. And you may have frequently asked questions, something like that, frequently used easy processes, and these bots can help them out, and then when the process is at a certain point, then it may be going to the human. But it kind of a thing is to reduce the overload, reduce the number of questions that comes directly to people, so they can free some time to do more important or kind of parts that cannot be done by bots. And one of the big things is that, hey, it's 24/7 bot. Your HR is not there 24/7, or at least I hope so. At least the same person all the time. Okay. The extensibility part, that's the big thing. And that's the real beauty of Teams. As I said in the intro, most of the people are using, or organizations are using Teams as a hub for collaboration and communication. They're using it for files, meetings, chats, calls, the basic stuff. And that has taken them further a lot. But when you start adding the extensibility part, you are building on something more. Because as I already kind of introduced or kind of hinted about this, it's bringing all the applications and services to the one place people work at Teams. And it doesn't matter if they are using the desktop client or the web client or the mobile device. The apps are there because you can distribute those applications to the person who is using Teams. Application admins don't have to worry about, okay, I need to roll out this application to 10,000 employees who are using mobile phones. Instead, they already have a kind of a policy set up, and the groups of people who are using Teams, they have rolled out Teams for their disposal, so they can add applications to Teams directly to those users or groups of users, and then takes care of the big pain people having to worry about, okay, how do I manage these apps on my mobile? Do I have to re-log in? No, it's happening inside Teams, and that's a big thing. And of course, when you think about that, when you are extending Teams, you are bringing the business capabilities there. Teams, as it is on the basic function, it's providing a lot of great features, but those features are not tuned to your organization's business needs. They are not your something you do for work in your organization. Instead, they are very generic ones, and the real big value starts coming in when you are doing meeting the real business needs you have. You are building those applications, those power apps, those processes directly. How do you do business, or what do you need? And making that easily, that's a really, really big thing about Teams extensibility. And how do you do that? Well, there's lots of places where you can inject your own business logic or business processes. Of course, you can use tabs applications. Well, you have added most likely SharePoint page, or you have added Excel there, or a Word document or something like that as a tab. That could be your application. That could be an access to your ERP system directly from within the channel. And when the application is in the channel, they know, okay, I'm in this team, I'm in this channel. I already have that context. Or you are using bots. You can use the chat interface, which is really easy to use on the mobile Teams because, well, it's more natural. We are using WhatsApp and everything like that usually all the time. We can create those extensions. We can extend what Teams has, like doing something based on the message, acting based on the message, or bringing information to the team channel. Praise is one example of that. You can put the information to the channel directly for everyone to see. Connectors can bring in information from outside sources, for example. You could have Twitter, you could have your custom connector that's bringing information and notifications to Teams directly from your backend system. And of course, webhooks can kind of act on changed messages, for example, and bring that rich capability there. And all these apply to different places in Teams, like Teams and channels, private chat parts. You have personal apps like, for example, your calendar app on the left side, or your tasks by planner, or the files part, whatever you have on the Teams left rail. That's where you have so-called personal apps, because they are not tied to the specific team. They are only tied to you. And you have the kind of your context and tasks relevant for you, or calendar meetings relevant to you. But there can be your own applications as well. And of course, the meetings can be extended as well. My favorite, one of the favorite new things that rolled out last month is the ability to add applications directly to meetings. So you can connect the meeting to the business process, or to the customer, or to the HR interview, to the person. So you can have more context and meaningful meeting, but also that you are not context switching to add those information or get that information from some other tool. So that's those are really basic kind of a high-level architecture how you can extend teams. So the value part, one of the biggest values I think is here. What's provided out of the box by Teams and Office or Microsoft 365? There are certain applications we are using, but really big thing about this about security and compliance and governance. Teams is part of the Microsoft 365, and Microsoft 365 provides those services, and many of those services like data loss prevention are available in Teams. Well, more or less, but more and more of those values are there. Or how do you manage the identity? How do you sign in? What kind of rules there are? That's all provided by the platform, as well as the basic functionality I already talked about in Teams. So you don't have to, if you think about, okay, I need to create this application that connects to our backend ERP, does things, and we can create a mobile application that's creating orders directly from the first line workers' mobile phones. Okay, if you think about, okay, I want to build this from the scratch, those are all the parts basically you have to worry about. But if you create that application on top of on the Teams, you are extending Teams there. The platform takes care of those parts, and you can instead focus on your business needs and the innovation part instead of going to the basically the providing the information layer or security layer and everything like that. So this is a very great platform to customize and enhance. You can do a full code enhancements to Teams because you can create applications that run in Azure or somewhere else. You can extend Teams with the SharePoint framework, for example, or you can just do basically everything there. But that takes a lot of time. But when you have a good kind of initiative, of course, okay, you may have to do it, and that's possible. And it's still building on the platform. The easy way, I already mentioned a few times, it's the Power Platform because you can do those stuff in Teams and you don't have to be a kind of deep dive developer to do it. And you can fail fast, you can build it and get the quick returns. And this is basically Dataverse for Teams and the Power Platform parts. Like, well, you may build Power Apps when you have business application like needs to create new applications, or you have business needs you need to match. You want to automate things, how approvals. You are using Power Automate for that. You're using Power BI to create a kind of fast, quick, better data-driven decisions to how to run the company, for example. And of course, the Power Virtual Agents for assigning bots for repetitive tasks and easy processes. Dataverse for Teams makes this really easy because they are available directly from within Teams. But there's something like things you can use these tools to match things you can't be solved by out-of-the-box Teams, which is the point of today. But you have to also remember that with the Dataverse for Teams, you have the 500 environments maximum. So that's basically 5. You have the number of environments equal to 5 on the base and 1 per 20 eligible office seats. So you need to have a bunch of licenses running in your tenant to be able to reach that 500 environments. And there's of course the limit per environment that's 1 million rows or 2 gigabytes per environment. You can extend that to full Dataverse later. That's the or CDS but that comes with Dynamics part. But if you're looking directly from the Teams side, yeah, it's a great way to get started, but it's not the full thing. All right, I've talked a lot without demos. I think it's time to switch there. And we can, okay, not that window, this one. And I have a demo environment here. I can zoom in just a bit. I have teams, and actually I have several teams here, but I also have some application. These are the personal applications here on the left rail, and we can see there's some applications saying, okay, I have a new message. And this the company communicator is one of the app templates that's available through GitHub. So you can roll out this out of the box company communicator out, or you can create your own version with some changes. But in this demo, I just used the company communicator. Okay, you're a new employee, you're getting a message, welcome on board, say hi to the bot when you are ready, and please begin your onboarding process. So we are a new employee, boarding company, and then we can click in and get to the bot here. And we can just say hi and see what they reply. That's basically the same as the start over bot. That's a virtual onboarding bot that can take care of the kind of repetitive parts or the parts you don't need a person in. So it's instructing me to start onboarding, and you don't have to, with Power Virtual Agents, you don't have to have exact matches, especially when you have the language supported. So that's one of the benefits of doing this in English. It's understanding English, and it's understanding some of the typos. So it's telling me to welcome to the platform company. Watch the welcome video here. So we can add videos there. Just added the YouTube part. But first, it already knows my name, and so it's signed in. That's a SSO happening there. And first, you need to update the personal information, and once you have updated it, come back to me. All right. So I have few tabs here. So these are just power-ups. This is kind of a crude version, okay, about employee information. You could be entering the information, saving that, adding a new picture. It will go to the backend system and keeps everything updated. You could have some of the initial training parts. This is just one of the Power App examples I used, adding as a tab to that application in Teams. So it's easy to get access to these applications. It's the onboarding application that has not just the bot, but a few Power Apps attached to that. And the HR system is onboarding task named the another example by Microsoft. I just wanted to use this because this interface is much better of what I did. So I'm not betting my skills on the creating beautiful Power Apps, but instead of just rather reuse something existing. So we can see you have a very rich user interface for Power Apps, and that can happen directly from within Teams. And you could have your more company information here, more profile information here. And no matter how it's done, when you are ready, you are saying, okay, I'm done. And the biggest pain when you are onboarding a new company is the welcome message. Who are you? What do you do? At least for me. That's the same with the introductions. So it was really great that Samarin was introducing me in the beginning. So what's my nickname? It's Vesku. And let me just copy paste some text I have here earlier. So some background, yeah, it could ask me more questions to create that text as well, but it's still using this this as a basis. All right, what kind of genre in movies appeals to you most? So you can have some idea how this works here. Okay, I like sci-fi and I like Trek and Star Wars, but let's choose Star Wars this time. So you can see, okay, it can ask questions, it can adjust to those questions, it can even show you GIFs and create a kind of introduction text and remember the kind of the pics I did. And having my picture there, and then looking through the web for some articles. This is using the Bing search, so it's not the best one, but it's a kind of example that you can integrate the external systems directly from within the bot using the Power Automate. And it's saying it will send the results to HR. Of course, we want to have more questions, but this demo would take forever. And it's adding me tasks. And it's also creating a meeting so you can talk with the real person, finding a time in my calendar and booking me a meeting. And I could join this meeting with this meeting link. Okay, it's meeting with HR, and I could join that already. It's a Teams meeting. But what tasks? So it's adding me something. and then it will go and check out my tasks. Okay, another gives that was bot loves tasks. I don't, and I have some tasks I have had before, but it just added me a few ones during this process. Okay, I can just say thank you and you're welcome. That's a friendly bot, not like me usually. And but there are things like, okay, the tasks by planner, and I can see the tasks are there. It has created me those 3 tasks, and I have that one task it returned earlier. So yeah, I can. It can interact with you and your data inside Office 365 or in your backend systems. But it was something mentioning sending that to the HR. So if I check out the platform HR team, I can see that, okay, there's a new person. I still haven't fixed the title of this uh, adaptive card or flow message. But okay, this is something that needs to be approved. So there's nothing special about that or something we couldn't show. Or if there's something to edit, we could build on the editing capabilities. But at this point, yeah, we are okay with this introduction and we submit it. So it takes less effort from the HR to kind of process this, and it's showing that directly in the HR channel. Hey, we have a new employee called Vesku, and this is the information he provided. So you can go ahead and greet that person really easily. And if we go and check out the calendar, we can see that we have the meeting with HR that's happening in some hours, because when you are using the Power Automate, you can also use it to search for available times in your and the HR calendar, for example. And yeah, that's one way to use it. Then I have the other bot. I said I love bots. I can just make sure it's alive, like saying start over or hi, something like that. I could even use hi probably for the same effort. So what you can do with me. I have built here some knowledge-based searches, and I have 2 kinds of knowledge bases. I have something that's inside the SharePoint, and I have something that's inside the Q&A Maker database. And so let's see what we can. Okay, let me just make sure that I can see the questions in there if there's any. Okay, let me just say, okay, I have a keyword for Nepal. I added this to the SharePoint list. So if I go and check out, okay, it's going to check out my SharePoint list. It's showing the information, and I also have like something like take care. That's in the same list. That the list is dumbly called values, but that was the kind of idea that I have a SharePoint list where that bot can go ahead and start checking out for information. So this is a kind of very crude knowledge base. This is acting based on keywords, and it's not too smart. Okay. What about if we want something more freeform, like what are our values, for example? Now it's seeing that, okay, this bot is going to the Q&A database looking for the knowledge from there, and that has a much better like understanding of the question. Now I don't have to have anymore that one-to-one kind of exact match of the keyword. Well, you could build something like that on SharePoint, but that's really very difficult. But instead, we can return results directly from the Q&A Maker knowledge base. So this is great for FAQs. Like and I can have different information like teamwork solutions. I might have a kind of one bot for HR and IT, or I could have an IT bot and an HR bot. It really depends how you want to do it. And yeah, we are getting some results there. But this is not, or even I could say, asking about rolling out Microsoft Teams. I had a few examples here I had figured out before. And I can get very nice examples. Some of them are with pictures and some of them are just with text. So it's typing the message, looking through the answer and returning that one. Or even asking how do I create a channel in team. Let me get that one once I get the reply. Sometimes these are not instant. As you can see, it takes a few moments before it's getting me the answer. It may have several reasons there, but if I now hit another question, it will just punch them both to the screen at the same time. Yeah, you can see it's not perfect all the time, but it's trying to figure out the answer to me. And so it's reacting to these messages I do, but it's even all the time processing the Power Automate part on the background, so it will reply to me in a few moments, at least I hope so. I don't want to go to the next demo before I get the replies. Yeah, it's sometimes taking longer. I don't know why. Let's take some water. The fun with live demos, it's of course that sometimes these do lag. Because the next one is about going through for some choices, and if I go there, it might just take some strange results. But let's go to the HR part first. How much I have vacation left? That's one of the usual questions I have for HR. I don't know if this is throttling a lot in there. There are some limits when you are using these bots. Okay, so there was some error. It just couldn't get the answer, so the Q&A maker database didn't answer. So I do proof of concept or pilot or demo code. I don't really add error handling there. So it's timing out. It cannot get the answer, so probably I hit the threshold. But let's see how much I have vacation left and see if it can answer that one. Okay, it's already returning that result because this doesn't go to Q&A database. This is going, in my demo, it's actually a SharePoint list, but it could go to your backend system, asking for information, like something repetitive you are asking from your HR or from your IT. You need that information, it's available in the backend, you can return it there. So, okay, now it finally returned the answer about how do I create a team in channel, or channel in team, and it can return that answer. Okay, so it was just down for a few moments, so add some error handling there. But I can also say I have computer problems. This is a totally different route. This is now inside the Power Virtual Agent, seeing, okay, I have a conversation branch there, and I can start talking about that. Okay, let's see, I have a Surface device. Okay, is it about Surface Pro? Sadly, yes. So you can get asked about questions, running slow or hot? Yes. If you are using Surface Pro, you know what I mean. All right, did it help to change the power mode? It might help to some people. In this case, no, it doesn't help. Does the logging in and help? No, it didn't really help. It's still hot. And restarting reboot, do the usual thing we always guide to people. Have you rebooted that? Did it help? Or yes, I booted that, but did it help? No. All right, so this is something IT really has to look into. Tell me a bit more about the problem. Let's see if that Q&A database works or not, because my Surface blue screens every hour. I had issues. Okay, I'm just leaving it in there. I could be writing something more. But what it is doing now, it's creating a ticket for me, but it is also checking out the Q&A database for answers. So you might get kind of, when you are doing the free-form answer, you might get an answer from the FAQ already, but it has already said, okay, ticket has been created, they will get back to you soon. And if I go to the IT team here, I can see, okay, there's a new ticket from me. Yeah, that was just created, and I can go to IT tickets, and I can see my blue screen, my Surface blue screens every hour. So you can do things there. And okay, let's assume the first time worker part. Okay, we want to be working on mobile. This is another place where you can start extending themes. These are actually message extensions, all of them. You can see there's Poly, there's a Trello, there's DevOps, there's a lot of Salesforce, there's lots of extensions you can use. But there are also extensions like survey, checklist, or poll. And these are app templates. So you can go to the Microsoft page or GitHub, get these applications, and you can edit them. If you are a dev, you can start making changes to the, I'm going to be using the checklist here. This is the out-of-the-box experience from the app template, frontline tasks for today, Nepal demo. And I can say solve 1, solve check 2, and me 3, whatever tasks there are. But these tasks could be coming from your backend, or they could go to your backend or to your some other management system. You can extend these applications to do more, but this is now just a standalone in the demo. And this at this point, I'm switching to the mobile device. I'm using the Air more to kind of just reflect my screen, so you can see what I'm seeing here in the screen, and I'm going to go to full screen. All right, so you're now seeing my Teams mobile, and I can see, all right, I have the frontline workers channel in there. And when I go to the channel, I can see, okay, there's this checklist, and I can say I have already solved the one, and I save it. So it's very usable here on the mobile phone directly. And but the thing is, when you go, when you start distributing your Power Apps to your first-line workers, they can really use these applications like issue reporting directly from the mobile phone. It's embedded here. You don't have to have a Power App installed. You don't have to be logged in there. But the beauty is that it's already inside Teams. And when that first-line worker has access to that team where that application is, they can use it. And I can see there's a good morning. I can report an issue, and I can get not that beautiful user interface, but let's say just general maintenance there as a type. Did I choose it or not? No. Okay, there's general maintenance. I could assign it to someone, or I can use the location. That's the coordinates where I am in, and I can add a description. Let's just put a demo text here. And I can add photos if I want to. So I could take a photo, add it there, add some more information. But the thing is that this should be your application. Okay, let's submit that. And yeah, okay, now I got an error. I didn't test this one here. But despite the error, it should have gone to this team planner. I may have deleted that planner actually. Okay, that's what you get when you assume that something works and you don't really test it in the just before the session. But I can kind of see that I might have a few issues there. I have other tasks there, so the general maintenance is there and should be dealt with. And something else I could do on the mobile phone is the use of the other applications. As you can see, I have some great ideas. Yeah, I have great ideas. I have the Beamy, I have some other bots there that I have used in demos, but I also have this building access. And that's another application template that's on a Power Platform based. So if you are thinking about, okay, how many people can come to the office or some specific location, you could have this kind of application. I can create this. I want to go to Dubai, of course, customer. That's the best reason to get in. I want to get there, unfortunately not for a while, but let's go and check. I want that space here for today. I have some the meeting area. Yes, I have the meeting, and I can check for availability. The point is not all the actions I can do with this platform, this application template example. Well, you can upload it and start using that if this appeals to you or meets your needs, but instead it's about bringing the rich capability directly to Teams in Teams Mobile. So we are submitting that and we are getting that information in. And it's creating the new request. I have created a new request, and let's see how it looks when I close this one. Okay, let's exit that and close the Emor part, or at least that window, and go to Teams. And we can see, okay, whatever we had earlier, it's been updated. So the checklist was updated, and I can use that. But there was also something else, like if I go to the HR, and it's called bar, but it's not about bar, it's about building access request. And I can see that, okay, I'm an admin here, and I can see now the approvals. And the requests, I can see, well, this is just me using, I only have one user in this demo, but basically I could be approving, okay, what's happening in there. And then in the same application, there could be kind of a, this is the reservation for today. I could go there and check in, and admin could then see how many people are in there. And there are limits that can be defined per area. So that's just one example how you can use the mobile phone and Teams, desktop admins, users' roles to work together seamlessly within Teams. I mentioned about the sales example. I want to do that. And I knew I would be doing this in a rush at some point. You can have that Teams discussion happening, heated discussion, something like that. And eventually come to the point that you realize, okay, this is something we could innovate more, or we could create a lead out of this. And when I go for the message, and I can select the message, and I can see I have lots of options for that message. But I also have this more actions part. And it takes a few moments before it populates with my custom actions that are Power Automate. I could create a task from that message, I could send it to DevOps, or I can create an opportunity or lead. Let's create one. Let's put it Nepal demo, and we have some value there, and we might have a big company as a customer. And we might have a sales representative we already know. And we submit that. And now it goes to the different process. Traditionally, it could be something like, okay, you attach a salesperson here and tell them to create a lead out of this, or you do this part yourself, and it lands on the sales team as in the opportunities channel, where everyone in the sales team can see. They might be able to do some changes here. And here's the text already from the message. And this is the information I entered. And I can choose to approve and submit this opportunity in. So now it would start going, making it way towards Salesforce or CRM, whatever ERP sales system you are using the Power Automate for that. And it's starting to make its way. And if the criteria is met, it is creating already a new team about that and adding new people into that team. And if I go and see on the sales channel, it lets everyone in the sales team informed that, okay, new opportunity has been created. It's been sent to the CRM, and it's now telling that there's a new team based on that, and I can go directly to that new team from the sales team. If I have permissions, of course, it's public team. But there's also the possibility to go to the original message, so you know what's this all about, what's the context. I click here, I go to the team, I had a notification, you might have seen that earlier there, because I was mentioned. I created this one. I have the information, it's in better formatting, and I have the original text, but the original discussion can be found here, and yeah, ping, I'm back. I'm going there. So you can have this kind of interactivity there, and you can start building on working on the opportunity in the demo directly in a team. It might be just based on criteria adding a channel somewhere, or just something else, just notifying people this is the new opportunity, please start working on that. or even that creating a new team and starting bringing in the information. And that's the real power. You can see using these Power Platform parts, it's creating great possibilities here. I had a few other demos like, okay, we have this project, just whatever, a demo project in HR. But the thing is that they are using Trello for some reason. And they have, okay, let's not do that because that's the Trello. I had too much zoom in there. So they are using things in the Trello and adding another card. Let's put the Nepal demo task here. So they might have some externals there. They're really using Trello all the time. But everyone in the team needs to be kind of informed, okay, there's a new message, but okay, something was added there. So there's a new Trello card. I could click on the view and I can get directly to the card from there. So you are bringing in the integrations between different systems. And that's, I think, one of the other kind of great thing. Or when you have an agile team working with DevOps, you can see there's a, okay, let's hope it loads, please load, yes. And okay, it's empty, but there's some DevOps information there. I might have some chit chat. I had a topic of discussion there, and I have this action to send it to DevOps, and I can put the NEPA demo issue as a kind of topic and send it there. And that team working primarily inside the DevOps can kind of get added with new tasks really easily, really quickly. And when I open it, that was again the text I had in that message. That's the real power of the acting based on a single message there. How do you do other parts, like Power Apps? Well, if you open Power Apps right inside Teams, as you can see, I'm not going to the Power App portal. I'm seeing all the apps I have created to some other demos, but there are also some templates directly available from within Power Apps. So I can go ahead and add employee ideas, and I can add it to a team, and let's put platform general channel and start setting up a tab. And it's starting to roll out this tab to my channel. It's doing whatever it has to do. Hopefully it doesn't fail. I didn't really test this one. I thought I will show it, but it's just saying installing app to the channel. I already have the Dataverse environment there because I'm running these demos there. So it's really easy to start adding these capabilities. And once there becomes available to kind of create your company solutions and make them a this kind of templates where what you can add to different teams, that's when you are in a really powerful more situation. And when you go to the Power Apps later on, I'm not going to wait for that, but I can see already have different applications there. Like I have that, let's see, I have the company practices as a Canvas apps. That was the one of the other parts, or the onboarding app. I could go there and start making changes there as well if I want to. Because I can go ahead and start editing these if I have to, because I have access to all these parts. That's behind the scenes. And if you are really a Power BI user, there's the Power BI app right inside Teams. So you can add it as a personal app. You have access to your different dashboards, different reports, and I can go there and activate this particular report, and I can chat in Teams about that. There's this button, and I can say something about it. Of course, this is more sales, and I can go to the platform sales team and say, okay, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this one. And I can share it. Then the link has been shared to the report. So it's really easy to go to sales, and I can see the discussion here. We can go ahead and discuss it there. That's also interesting. An employee installed successfully. Okay, it's telling me the employee ID is there, and I can allow it and start using the new Power application, Power App directly from within Teams. There, it's setting up a few things. We can where the messages get posted. Of course, it could go to the HR if there are some new things there. And we have these different policies, different contributions or campaigns we can use. That's a really powerful part of that. Something I want to show as fun part is if you go to the SharePoint part, you can add SharePoint spaces there to the SharePoint site. It's rolling out. It's going. It was GA'd last month, but it's not available on default in every SharePoint site. But you can activate it through SharePoint site features. You can start creating very great looking showcase in rooms with SharePoint spaces. There's actually music behind there as well. You can put your own music if you want. So this is a very fresh way how you can show things around in Teams. And yeah, SharePoint and Teams are really better together because if you take a look at the new SharePoint application, you can it has changed recently. Where's my SharePoint? There, and I can add recommended content. I can choose some of the pages. That's the showcase or lists what I have there or document libraries. And the pages application has already been should have been updated or is updating. Yeah, we can see add any page we like. So you can work together with this. And so I have a few moments to go, I hope, before I really finalize this. But I can show you how you can do things with Power Automate, because there's this create button. And how difficult or easy it is to start working with us is that there are lots of Power Automate templates. Notify a team when a new item is created in a SharePoint list, or save a message to OneNote, schedule a meeting with Message Center. So you are doing things based on the message, or based on SharePoint action, based on Planner action, based on Forms action. And this is even the create a work item from message using the DevOps. But on the productivity slide, there's a couple of fun things people tend to miss. One of them is the follow-up on message. This is a really fun part. Follow up this one, and this does the flow for you. You can go ahead and edit the changes if you like. You can go to the advanced mode. But if you are just starting to use Teams, you are a normal average user, you don't want to see anything inside Power Automate. It's low code, but it's still something that people stay away from. But instead, if you tell them how to create their own personal flows for personal productivity, you can go there, and I can then activate this, and I have this follow-up on this one to kind of remind me about this message with the Teams notification in an hour or whenever I want to get back to that, instead of adding it to my tasks to look it up later. I really enjoy that one. It's kind of remind me about this later, or snooze for 20 minutes and I read it again. And that's a great application there, or a great way to use Power Automate, use this one, how to create it. And that's the same thing with all these autobots. And let me just show you. If you create something fabulous you want to share with your team, you can add run-only users. So you can share this flow with your team. Let's say it's an IT team. Okay, that's a platform IT. Form IT. So I can share it to some specific team and let them use it, save it, and they can start. Everyone in that team can use that flow I just created. Yeah, I was afraid so that I will easily run through a few steps of time. As a very short recap about extended teams via Power Platform, you can create applications that interact with channels, and on the personal left-right part, they can be inside meetings, they can be used in mobile teams. You saw the power of applications, I hope. If you saw that, please do let's show me a thumbs up in the chat. Acting on selected message, if you really got what I was meaning with this one, put heart in the chat. So if this kind of resonated, what you could be doing with that, taking the message, doing something with that, initiating a process, taking it to the backend with something. That's based on Power Automate. Receiving information to Teams, something is added to external system, bringing that to Teams, creating notifications, acting on that. That's done with Power Automate also, or you could be using Azure Logic Apps for these integrations as well, or you can take it to further and use Graph API to write information directly to Teams or to somewhere else, adding tasks, whatever you need. There are really broad ways how to do this, and adaptive cards, we love them because they make the content look nice. Sometimes even really pretty. Extending messages, you can extend the messages to bring the rich format there, but I didn't show around third-party applications, but you have already seen polls and everything like that to create a polls for channels, hopefully, or into meetings. And that's one great example of very rich third-party applications you can use. And automating information and approvals, that's the approvals is coming. It's scheduled on the roadmap for January, so you can start creating really easily approvals from within Teams, or you can create those approvals with Power Automate actions. So bringing the Power Platform capabilities to Teams, that's a really super together. It's not even better together. It's kind of match made on top of the Everest. And using these features, integrating between services, sending information out and receiving that's a really big beauty. And I wanted to break this down to those sub-size slides because it's a lot to kind of take in. You can see there's lots of information there to be used, or places where you can start. You can start really easy. You can start on the acting on selected messages, for example, or with specific Power Apps and bringing that in. So I'm wrapping it up. This is something you just cannot skip. Using that Forrester report study values, basically using especially the Power Platform to extend Teams, that's a huge return of investment. That's a huge opportunity. Businesses shouldn't kind of skip, because that means they can act and change, do things on the business really fast and react to changes. And helping the HR and IT, I think helping the load of those persons, or adding to the bot to that project team where you can help take some pain off the project managers, because the bots can take off the repetitive questions. Those are all the important things. And bringing the tools and applications directly to Teams. You saw that I was using Trello and DevOps directly from within Teams as well. So it's really the next step. It's just not about collaboration and communication. Teams is and should be your hub for business services and applications, because that's where your users are. They are using these directly from Teams, accessing data, doing orders, making things, approving information. And that's a really big thing, because as you saw, it was just extending Teams. It was just a kind of a new feature in Teams. So the learning curve, that's a really big thing, especially if you have a workforce that is coming and going all the time. You need to have a very fast kind of learning curve for that. And it means always return of invest. It means money. It means savings in time and resources. Integrating the backend and business processes and all the external systems, that is a big part. If you have a manual process there, it's not that good thing. And yeah, Teams loves Power Platform. Thank you. I made it in time. I can't believe that I really used almost 90 minutes for this. I thought I have more time for questions, but if you have seen any of my sessions, you know that I like to show around things, and I like to jump around a lot. So hopefully this was a bit more focused session. And please do follow me in Twitter and connect me with that LinkedIn and read my blog. And go ahead and you can see me live. I'll be talking at Modern Workplace Conference Paris in January with Chris Hord. We have Teams as a platform topic, so we have a slightly different angle than this one. So you may want to join us there if you want to see. And I will be doing the session at Scottish Summit at the end of February. It's about level up your teams. It's a fast-paced jumping around session, what's new in Teams and what fun you can do with Teams, and showing around the capabilities of basically the basis what Teams provides out of the box. And of course, I'm one of the organizers in Teams Nation. That was earlier at EuroTeams UG and the Teams Fest event. So we rebranded that for Teams Nation. And we have monthly meetings, and we will have meetings for March and etc. once I create them. But the big conference is coming on the end of May, which is basically the new Teams Fest. Thank you, everyone. Nobody put anything on chat, no hearts, no likes. So I guess this didn't resonate with you.
No, Vesa, I'm pretty sure it resonated with, I think, all of us. I was personally really fascinated with, the apps that we can build within Teams. I was mostly focused on the communication and collaboration part of Teams, but after your session, after this session, I would call Teams as the one-step solution. Like you said, that it is a business application solution. So it was really, really interesting, and thank you so much. Any questions, anyone? You can raise your hand and ask, or drop them in the chat box, and we'll be answering the questions.
Okay, there's at least one raise hand. Samit.
Yeah. So hi Vesa, thanks a lot for today's session. One of the question is, out of all the features that you have shown today, is there any additional license attached to it, or if you have Teams, you get it all?
You get almost all this with Teams. The database for Teams means that the Power Apps and the Power Virtual Agents are included in Teams license. So if you have that limit of these environments, but if you work within that limit, it's included in the license. If you want to use Power Automate for with premium connectors, that's when your licensing starts to add up. Then you need kind of power virtual agents with real license, etc. So I suggest you kind of try to work around and to see what is really essential or needed there. But mostly what I saw was on the base licenses. The only thing that's what wasn't covered was the Q&A database. The Q&A database is free for certain limits, but the Azure Search has some costs. It's not a high cost there, but you have to have an Azure subscription to kind of use that through the Power Automate. But in a sense, everything was included in Teams license.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question that I had was, Microsoft kind of releases new features all the time. In like every 3 months or 2 months, they release new features. Do you heard any additional features that we can get excited about in Teams in upcoming days?
That would be another session. You
Yeah.
need to read my blog. Yeah, the breakout rooms just came out. That's a big thing if
Yeah.
you are doing innovation workshops. But also if you switch to the preview mode of Teams, that's when you can have some really fun stuff happening. When you go to meetings, for example, I have a public preview. And if I go to calendar and let me just boot up a meeting there. Let's meet now, and it's a bit slow. I'm running that in Azure virtual machine, so I can really run this through the during the demo. But yeah, you can see there's a new pre-join screen, and I can join that a meeting there. Just to show around the meetings is getting a lot of features. And one of the big things is, of course, the reactions that are now in the public preview mode. You can start using the hearts and stuff and creation of the breakout rooms. And of course, you saw already the meeting options like who can present, and you can put the audience on mute, so-called hard mute, when you are creating events, for example. And some of the really great stuff was just postponed. I blogged it about this morning before I started this session. I noticed that there were roadmap changes for dynamic views, and the overflow meetings and the large meetings were postponed for Q1 21. So they would be coming into the 3 months, or 3 to 4 months in time. But those are really great additions. One, and the other one I really love is, let's leave the meeting, is the praise. I can use my web browser, it's a bit faster. What we want, let me think. I think I used another environment I had for that. Sorry, I wasn't prepared to show you that part, but
Yeah.
let's go here and I can add a new conversation. And I can add a praise, that's application in Teams, that's the natural applications. But you can start creating your own praises, and you can activate this kind of a more social kind of badges there as well. So it's a really great way to start adding, hey, Amy, you're a winner, preview, send. And of course, what you are really wanting to know, how do you do that? This is what I do with my level up session. So I go really fast. I jump from topic to topic. I show around stuff what you can do in Teams. So it's really fast paced. I hope my real session earlier was a bit slower, but you can go for the praise. And now you have the option for settings. This was just rolled out this last week. And you can add in the social badges on, or you can start creating your own badges, uploading a picture. The picture is about 216 by 216 in size, and it has to be less than 40 kilobytes. This is incorrect text. It's saying at least, but that's actually incorrect. I'm publishing a blog post about this most likely today evening. So it will be for you tomorrow morning to read on my blog. I have it ready, but I'm just waiting for the right moment to put it out. And this way you can create these badges. You have to be a Teams admin to create this, but yes, you can create them. And what I didn't really test, I was website check it out, is that you could add another languages for the badge. So it might work or might not work. I didn't really test that one out. I know we are running out of the time, but let's make it more exotic for you. And let me find a Finnish version of Teams there. That, of course, you really like that. And I can see if that phrase works or not. Yeah, it's a Finnish text that voittaja. That's in the Finnish text version was for the same badge there. So it works. It was now tested. So that's how it goes. But yeah, it's the praise is great feature because it creates a lot of goodwill. It creates the kind of a feeling that, okay, we care about each other. We are in this together. This is about teamwork. This is not about solo work. So please use Teams for teamwork. Don't use private chats too much. Don't use even private meetings too much. But instead use the collaboration, use the channel, make it available, make everybody involved. That's inclusivity as well. And those are really great things I love about Teams. That's the passion of mine. And Samarin just posted the feedback form link there. Please do give me feedback. I'm sure I get the message relayed. Was it okay? Was it bad? Or was it a success? Let me know, and let me know what to do better in future events as well.
Yeah, so for all the participants, I've sent out the feedback form. So please feel free to write in your critical feedbacks and let us know how we can conduct more sessions and have more productive sessions like this one. And Vesa, thank you so much for joining with us. You've actually expanded the my knowledge on Teams, and I'm pretty
Win.
sure I'll be yeah, exactly, and I'll be using Teams a lot. So thank you so much for joining with us all the way from Finland, and we'll be attending your next sessions obviously. So thank you so much, Vesa. And if you would like to say something, ending notes or anything, I'd be really glad.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was fun, of course. We can do this again. Let me know or let them know in the feedback if you want to do another session by me during the, let's say, H1 next year, during the springtime. That could be arranged, of course. It was really fun, and it was pleasure showing you and hopefully getting the idea out what this Teams as a platform. It's just not about the basic stuff we do usually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you once again. And thank you, everyone, for joining with us. So, yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah. Have you used, by the way, have you used the together mode?
Sorry?
The together
Yeah.
mode in and there are now new scenes. If you activate the together mode from the three dots, and you're using the three dots from the top of the message, if you are using the new meeting experience, and there's the same scene, so we can go ahead and take a look at us in a game room, for example. I
Yeah.
don't know if you noticed that or not, but that's really fun.
Yeah, before we used to have a classroom scene only, but I think we can change scenes now, right?
Yeah, yes, you can.
Yeah.
That just rolled out last week as well, so it's really fun, and I enjoyed that one. So that was the extra one after my ending notes, but sorry, I do this very much. But hey, it was great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Vesha.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you, everyone.
bye.
Bye bye.